Y'all, I am not ready for this book haul, okay? Like, it's gonna take a hot minute. Hey y'all, my name is Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today, and for this video we are going to be doing the second quarter of the year book haul. Before we get into anything bookish, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, as well as tell me in the comments what was the last book you hauled. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let's talk about it. Because there are so many books here, I'm going to give you a sparse synopsis if I know anything about the book at all, and if I've already read them and reviewed them, I'll put a link to that in the cards up above, as well as in the description down below. Go watch me squeal about those books there. I don't know where to start here, so I guess I'm just going with what's on top. That's going to be A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This is the movie tie-in edition with illustrations. I believe this story is following a boy and the monster that he either creates or imagines at the same time that his mother is dying of cancer. I've heard this is pretty hard-hitting, but it handles grief beautifully. I know I'm gonna have to be in the right mindset before I get into this, but I'm very excited too. Next up is The Extraordinaries by T.J. Klune. This is a world where superheroes exist and our main character is in love with one of them, writes fan fiction about him, but his best friend is also in love with him. I've heard great things about this from everybody who read it. Next up is Mayhem by Estelle Lohr. I believe I heard about this from Jess at Books Past Bedtime, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I saw the blurb, The Craft meets The Lost Boys. It's set in 1987. I am on board. I don't need to know anymore. Obviously, based on the blurb, I think this is gonna be the perfect book to read around Halloween time. Next is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones, and I think this is some kind of a fantastical world in which dead bodies can be reanimated if they aren't buried properly, and we are following a girl whose entire family's job is to ensure bodies are buried properly and to handle those who aren't. Also one that sounds like it'd be perfect for October. After that is Where Dreams Descend by Janelle Angelis, and this is a fantasy that I have been told is supposed to be Moulin Rouge meets Phantom of the Opera. It's a fantasy world, and I believe mostly men have magic, and yet our main character is a woman who is attempting to become a magician. I'm sold. Mare at NerdyNatReads has totally talked up this series to me, and I am ready to get into it. After that is Elizabeth Acevedo's Clap When You Land, and I picked this up in my little free library haul. Definitely go check out that video. This story is told in verse and is following two sisters who have the same father but are unaware of it until he dies in a crash that occurs shortly after 9/11, I believe in the Dominican Republic. I've heard amazing things about this, but personally, poetry and verse aren't my go-to thing. We don't usually get along, but I found a hardback copy of an Elizabeth Acevedo book at a little free library. I couldn't not pick it up. After that one is The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liz Constantine, and this is some kind of a thriller in which a woman tries to take another lady's life, I think. I've heard tons of good things about this one from Haley Hughes. I think this is actually one of her favorite books, so I had to pick this one up when I found it at Half Price Books for a steal. Then is first volume of Fence by 𝗖cie RH, illustrated by Joanna the Mad. I read this as a part of my Fence reading vlog. Go check it out over there. Next up is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is the first volume and is a sci-fi series. It's very well loved. I think it's about these two people on opposing sides of an ongoing war, and they end up marrying each other and having a child, and now everyone is trying to come after them. I've heard lots of good things. I'm very excited. I decided to pick it up. Next up is The Chalkman by C.J. Tudor. I have heard tons of rave reviews about this from Lady Jane Books as well as Books Yada Yada. I trust both of their thriller recommendations, so I had to pick this one up when I saw it at Barnes & Noble. This is following a man who in the 80s with his friends had this secret message thing that they would use in which they would draw a chalkman. Eventually they ended up finding a dead body. Now it's a good few years later and one of the boys has ended up dead after all of them received a note using the chalkman symbol. This kind of has like It Part 2 / Stand By Me vibes. I'm into it. After that one is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. This I believe is supposed to be a thriller focusing on this woman in an area that is being gentrified. I've heard this also has romance aspects to it. I've heard mixed reviews of it, but I'm very intrigued and want to try it out myself. After that is one I'm currently in the middle of, and that is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is the sophomore novel of Casey McQuiston in which our main character falls in love with a girl she sees on the subway, but finds out that that girl is displaced out of time. I'm not very far in. I don't have a lot to say. After that is We Free the Stars by 𝗖cie RH. This is the second book in the Sands of Aralia duology. It is amazing! I love it. 5 stars. There's my review. Instinct by Jason M. Huff. I believe this is a mystery following a new police officer in this small town where there are a ton of conspiracy theorists and a bunch of kids either go missing or are murdered. I'm on board. Conspiracy theorist, small town, police, Let's go. Next up is The Hunting Wives by May Cobb, and this story is following a woman who has recently moved to a small town in Texas. She attempts to get in with this group of affluent rich ladies who call themselves the Hunting Wives, but gets in way over her head. I already read this as a part of the Thrills and Chills readathon vlog, and I'll put that in the cards over here. Next up is Behind the Red Door by Megan Collins, and this is following a woman after she sees the news of another woman being murdered, and she is certain she knows this woman, but she has no idea where from. Her husband insists it is probably because this woman who was murdered was kidnapped 20 years prior, and it was the biggest news on TV. However, our main character has absolutely no memory of that, and she is determined to figure out how she knows this woman. Haven't heard anything about this one, just saw it at Barnes & Noble, decided to pick it up, sounded like a good time. Next up is The Kite Runner by Khalid Hussein, and I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know what this is about. It is, however, a modern classic and is often on one of those lists that's like 100 books you should read in your life. I saw it there, I was very intrigued and decided to pick it up because I feel like I should read it. I do know it's a tearjerker, however. Oh. There's a bookmark. I don't know what the preparations is, but thanks to whoever left this here. Next up is Hunger by Roxane Gay, and this is her memoirs. After I read Bad Feminist, I was desperate for more of her work. Next up, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and I already read this one as a part of the Sugar and Spice book club. I loved it. I didn't quite love it as much as Beach Read, I'll be honest, but still a really great, perfect vacation read. Definitely go watch my review of it. Next up is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. This is a thriller following a woman who is determined to figure out if this very well-known classics professor at Cambridge has actually murdered people. I'm excited for this. This sounds like a really good time. I heard tons of good things about his first work, The Silent Patient. I still need to read it, but I really want to pick this one up. After that is The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson, and this is the fourth book in what was once the Truly Devious trilogy, but is now apparently a series. While the first three books were following Stevie Bella, she attempted to solve the mystery at Ellingham Academy. This one is following her as she enters a summer camp. And guys, I'm so ready for all the summer camp vibes. I can't wait to get back in with this crazy cast of characters. They are such a fun time. I'm so excited to read this. Next up is Jane Anonymous by Lori Ferreira Staleres, and this is a YA thriller horror. This is following the after events of a girl who had been kidnapped and held prisoner for 7 months. She only found solace in this one other boy also kidnapped named Mason, but after she is rescued, she attempts to talk to the police about Mason, and they did not find any evidence of another child there. She's determined to figure out what happened. This is one I have not heard a lot about, but guys, when I tell you I read the summary and I was automatically sucked in, I cannot wait to pick this up. After that's going to be Helter Skelter by Vincent Bugliosi, and this I also picked up in my little free library vlog. This is a nonfiction story following the events of the Manson murders. If you're unaware, I'm a total true crime fan. This I feel like is just one of those crimes you have to know about. It's a totally well-loved book. You can see it's not in the best condition, but I adore that about it. So I can't wait to get into this, but he chonky. Then I have Tiny Pretty Things by Sonia Cheraprota and Dion Clayton. This is like a YA thriller mystery thing set at a elite ballet school. I'm so intrigued by this. There's a new TV show out. I heard about this from Haley and Bookland years ago, and I'm still so intrigued to try it. Thriller, it's like kind of Black Swan vibes. Then we have The Girls by Emma Cline, and this is a historical fiction, but it is following a cult that is supposed to be reminiscent to the Manson family. Dual Mansons. Didn't think about that. I've heard mixed things on this, but it was really cheap at half-price books, so I decided to pick it up. We know I love a good cult. That sounds awful. Also kind of like an oxymoron. Is there a good cult? Finally! Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. This is a cozy mystery in which our main character is working at her aunt's Filipino restaurant. However, when her ex-boyfriend, who is also a food critic, gives them a scathing review and ends up dropping dead in the middle of the restaurant, it doesn't look good for them. Our main character ends up getting accused of the crime, and while she is determined to prove her innocence, she also wants to clear her family's restaurant's name. I'm so excited for this. I've heard lots of good things, and I really want to try out more cozy mysteries. I love the idea of this being based around Filipino food because it's not something you really see in the cozy mystery genre all that much, and I am very excited to get into it. Okay, y'all, that was a lot of books. Can I stack these to try and take something reminiscent to a thumbnail? I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be able to hold all of these up. This is a lot. I want y'all to know I have a whole nother stack here. Actually, I have two other stacks. One was not completed. One is definitely full. Oh God. Oh God. Okay, also, as always, thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate it. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!